Welcome to the first episode of Talking Shirts. I'm Mike from Hull KR Shirts. Today we're going to take a look at the 2019 home shirt by X-Blades. 2019 was a really strong year for kits for Hull KR. I think since X-Blades have been with us from 2017 to modern day, they've given us some really good kits. Welcome to episode number 100 of Talking Shirts. I'm Mike from Hull KR Shirts, and today we are going to talk about the 1983-84 home shirt. Now, when I got this shirt, I thought, yes, that's it. That is going to be episode number 100 of Talking Shirts. Now, we actually have more than 100 episodes, because when you put in the special editions and the prototypes and things like that, we have actually surpassed 100 episodes. But this is the 100th playing shirt that I have covered during episodes of Talking Shirts. It felt so far away when I got it. However, it's here and it's taken its time to come around. We do fortnightly episodes. It's taken so long, but we are here and we are now going to talk about the 1983-84 Hull KR home shirt. So this shirt's an all white shirt with a modified sort of red band through the middle. Not normally a stick as we'd normally see. The sponsor actually drops a little bit below it this time. We're used to seeing the sponsor appearing in that red stripe, so this does make a nice little change. On the front of the shirt, on the match-worn shirts, we have a big X in little rubber pads, which is very similar material to that's used on rugby balls. The idea behind that is that when the ball hits a player's chest, there's a little bit more grip there to help the player just sort of retain possession. The shirt itself is a different material to that was on the replica. That's kind of a modern thing now with rugby shirts. The material that's used on the club shop replicas is very different to that the players wear during games. So to get hold of a match-worn shirt now, it's really easy to tell the difference between one that's a player spec shirt and one that's a replica. A lot of the branding is all sort of sublimated into the fabric rather than it actually being a sticky transfer that's being plastered on at the end there. So this shirt from 2019 was Mitch Garbutt's. This was probably worn throughout the season by Mitch. It's got a lot of wear and tear to it, which is a match-worn shirt. That's absolutely fantastic for me. It tells me that it was worn in a game. There's nothing wrong with having a match-issued shirt, but the fact that it's worn and that it's seen game time is something that is really good to know as a shirt collector. When we talk about the wear, you can just about make out here, the inner lining's all coming away. There's loose threads. It's got rips in it. It's got tears. That for me is just absolutely fantastic. So excited, can't contain myself. Anyway, so this is what we've got. So yeah, it's an all red shirt with a blue band going through the middle. We spoke about a little bit of the construction of the 1979-80 home shirt, and that was in episode number 99. And we also spoke about the construction of the 77-78 shirt, which was featured in episode 97. But on this one, it has actually got a sublimated band throughout the shirt. It's not a separate piece of fabric, it is purely within the main body of the shirt. It's a nice thick broad band where we've got the Savoy Tyres branding. That has been heat applied to the shirt in sort of a felt material, so you can actually see that it has actually discoloured slightly. The size of this did vary, depend on the competition. If it was just used for a regular league game, which wasn't on television, then it was this size of sponsor that was used. But if it was a TV game, then there was actually a shirt with a slightly smaller Savoy Tyres branding on, due to advertising laws on the television. Which now brings me on to the next thing, because we've got a Bridgestone Gecko. Now, Bridgestone's branding, the official word is a gecko. Most people in East Hull would call it a frog. So we've got the Bridgestone Frog or the Bridgestone Gecko, whichever you want to refer to it as, and that has been embroidered into the shirt. So this branding is for Bridgestone tyres. I'm assuming that this contract was agreed as part of the Savoy Tyres agreement. When you think about it, both in the tyre industry, it kind of makes sense. Now, when we first started using this shirt in the beginning of 1983, it was actually a loophole to have an extra sponsor on a shirt, which I'm assuming will have brought added income into the club. Now, as you can see here, there is no Hull KR club crest that features anywhere on the shirt. So it's probably actually quite iconic, because this will be, at this point, one of the first shirts not to have featured it. since the late 1970s, when Club Crests was introduced to shirts that Hull KR wore. Stunning, isn't it? It's kind of worn a little bit. Obviously, you know, when you look at it here, you can kind of see some gaps in the embroidery, but this shirt has seen quite a lot of wear. It's not in tip-top condition, but it's still in good nick. There's a lovely tear on the back which has been repaired. So when we get round to the back of that, I will talk to you a little bit about that. We've got some reinforced stitching going on in this collar up here. It is just a standard sort of V-neck collar, but like I say, that reinforced stitching has done its job. And then we have got the Adidas Trefoil logo with the Adidas word mark underneath. We've seen this applied to so many Hull KR shirts in the 1980s and in so many different shapes, sizes, and even styles. So yeah, that's just another variation of what we've got there. If we take a look at the sleeve patch here, which is, again, this is actually been an applique afterwards. There's so much cracking here to the Heta branding, and on the opposite side with the Betfred Super League logo, the same's happened there as well. This has probably got something to do with Mitch's guns busting out of that for the majority of the season. As we take a look at the sleeves, both of these are the same, so we will just kind of focus on one of these. We have got 3 white stripes which come down the shirt, and then we have got 2 blue ones which separate in the middle, just to show the distinction between Adidas and its famous 3-stripe branding. Again, we have got the 3/4 length sleeves with a lovely white cuff at the end there. The sleeves are 3/4, as you can see. They are kind of attached separately to the main body of the shirt in terms of the construction, and then we've also got a layer of reinforced stitching under the sleeve here, where there is actually a few little bits of loose thread. Also up here, you can see there's been a tear at some point that's gone from the collar all the way down onto the shoulder, and then that has been repaired and has been stitched up. And it's actually been done quite neat, actually, but it's been done to the point where it's still noticeable. However, it has been done in a very, very professional way. So before we have a look at the back of the shirt and we talk a little bit more about potential games that it could have been worn in, here is a quick word from our sponsor.
White Oak Cottage is a 2-bedroom luxury holiday cottage set in the stunning Lincolnshire Wolds. It has 2 ensuite bedrooms, a hot tub, wood burner, Wi-Fi, electric vehicle charger, and is pet friendly. It is ideally situated in the Wolds, yet only 15 miles from the coast and 25 miles from the historic city of Lincoln. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
If we flip this round to the back, as you can see, Mitch Garbutt wore 14 in his debut season for Rovers. Scored more tries in his first few games for us than he did in his entire sort of last season at Leeds, which, you know, he set the world on fire with us to start with, which was brilliant. If you look at the number here, you can see how much cracking is going on to that number. I think the only thing left for that to do now is to fall off. So obviously I'll need to be careful with that one. With match shirts nowadays, we have the GPS tracker in the back. If I just flip this around here, you can just about make out here. So what happens here is a GPS tracker will go in there, and the sports science team will then be able to track data. So this is how we know how much meters a player's made in contact and things like that, and that's where the scientists can get that information from. Another added detail to this shirt, which I really like, is the camo print, which features under the arms running all the way down to the bottom. This is a feature that we've seen across quite a few pieces of Hull KR merch. A lot of the training gear over the last couple of years has featured camo print, whether it's a red camo or a blue camo. So it's really nice to sort of see that then transition into match shirts. It also features across the red band on the front as well there. So this has been the 2019 home shirt. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I'll be doing some more soon. Catch up soon. Thank you very much for watching. Welcome back to episode 100 of Talking Shirts. Before the break, we was having a look at this 1983-84 home shirt, and we're going to continue with the back. So the back of the shirt, the main body is red, but we still have that thick, broad blue band, which has been dye sublimated into the fabric, going all the way around. The continuation, which is quite regular during the 1980s, would see a patch applied to the back of a shirt to break up any design elements on the back. So as you can see here, we have had a white patch that has been stitched onto the shirt, and then we have got a red number 5, which has then been stitched onto the white fabric. Another thing with the back of this shirt here is you might just be able to see what I'm calling this scar. So there's a scar that goes all the way from the top and into the number, and then it does actually cut quite far into the back of the shirt, but you can't see it because it's been obstructed by the number 5. I will pop some pictures of the shirt laid out on the floor from the inside for you, so you can actually see how deep that scar does go. So that's where this shirt at some point in time has been ripped and then has been repaired. I'm assuming the number will have been taken off and then reapplied. From where you're looking at it on the camera, you might be thinking, well, number 5, it's a little bit to the left, and I would agree with that. This here should be the middle point of the shirt, and when you look at it, it's maybe in the middle of the 5, but the patch doesn't appear to me to be in the middle of the shirt. If you think of this distance here and how big that distance is here, it does probably need to be shifted a little bit for it to be central, but that's okay because that's just how it is. Now, an interesting story about this shirt, and again, very similar to episode 99, I'm probably never going to be able to prove this, but this shirt was used, this design of shirt was used in the fixture against Queensland in 1983. So, there is the potential that this shirt with the gecko could have been worn in that fixture. The video footage and the photographs show you that a lot of the players was wearing shirts with geckos on in that Queensland fixture. So this could have been used. Now on that day, number 5 was worn by Gary Prome. So that's kind of what I'm calling this shirt, because I think this shirt was likely worn by Gary Prome in that game. However, I'll probably never able to be 100% sure to confirm it or to prove it. But that's what we're going with. Number 5 was worn quite predominantly during that season by Gary Prome. No, it wasn't. By David Laws. My apologies. Gary Prome wore predominantly number 4, but he did play on the wing during this game. So yeah, David Laws did wear number 5 more frequently than Gary Prome did during that 1983-84 season. When it comes down to Providence, it's so difficult to be able to kind of say yes or no. To the point where I'm just going to kind of say, this is what I think, and this is what I hope to believe. But like I say, having 100% evidence is probably just never, ever, ever, ever going to be likely. When we think about the shirt and the gecko, we did actually see that more sort of in the big games. Obviously, the club was told not to use it and to change it, so there is shirts that look like this that have got a club crest on more so than the gecko. There is also the possibility that this was worn in 1985 as well. But again, trying to find that evidence and prove that it's not the easiest. So I've kind of called this a 1983-84 home shirt. But again, a lot of it just comes down to what information I've had. If you have any pictures or you know anything about this shirt, I'm expecting episode number 100 to probably be seen by quite a lot of people, especially with the shirt that's been included. So hopefully I've been able to find some new people that have been watching, maybe even for the first time. So if you have any information on this shirt or any of the shirts that I've covered previously, I'm always open to talking to people about things, because I don't know everything. I've probably got a very good, vast knowledge of Hull KR kits and things that they've used over the years, but by all means I know absolutely nothing. I mean, I probably forgot more than I know in that sense, but I think it's really important to be able to try and capture as much of this information as we can, and then hopefully pop it down in digital form so that for years and years to come that information will be available to anybody that wants to look into it. So that's it, episode number 100. We've had a wonderful run all the way this far. Obviously, Talking Shirts is going to continue. I'm going to be back with episode number 101 in a few weeks' time. But yeah, I've really been saving some absolute corkers for this period. Continue to watch, have a look back. We've got so many episodes. I really do appreciate all of the support I get on my videos. It's something that I really enjoy doing. If nobody watched them, I'd still do it, because I love having them to be able to look back on and to remember things about shirts. Because as I said a moment ago, I've probably forgot more than I actually know now. So yeah, it's really important to me, and your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. Check back in another couple of weeks, where I'll be back with a brand new episode. Once again, thank you. Goodbye.